You might have heard the word climate on the news or heard about it in school. Maybe you already know about climate change and how this is affecting our planet. In this short video, we'll help you to understand climate change and what we can all do to take care of the planet and all of the diverse plants, animals and insects that call our planet home. Let's go back to basics. What exactly is climate and how is it different to weather? Think of a weather forecast you would watch on the TV or hear on the radio. The weather presenter tells you what the weather will be that day or week, if there will be rain or sun, how fast the wind is blowing, and might warn you about a lot of snow. Weather changes in the short term. For example, 1 minute the rain will be pouring and the next the sun might be shining. Weather changes hour by hour, day by day, week to week and season to season. Climate is different to weather. Climate is how the weather changes over a long period of time. So, what is climate change? Climate change is happening on Earth and is the process of our planet heating up. That's why sometimes people will call it global warming. Scientists estimate that over the last 200 years, that's when your great-great-great-grandparents were born, human activity has caused the Earth to warm by almost 1.2 degrees Celsius. It might not seem like a lot, but rising temperatures like this over the whole planet don't mean that we'll get nicer weather. The changing climate will actually make our weather more extreme and unpredictable. Can you think of how extreme weather might affect our lives? A warmer climate can affect our planet in a number of ways. We could experience more rainfall and changing seasons. This will affect how food is grown or where it can be grown. If environments are too wet or too hot, the food we need to eat can't grow. If we experience heavy rainfall, flooding could damage people's homes, farms, and even close businesses. As temperatures rise because of climate change, the sea is warming up and the ice at the North and South Pole is melting. Polar animals such as polar bears, penguins and Arctic foxes are particularly at risk because their icy natural habitat is melting. They need sea ice to be able to hunt, raise their young and as a place to live. Climate change is threatening many species' ability to survive, and every day plants and animals are becoming extinct, meaning they are dying off and will disappear from Earth forever. To enable humans to slow down and stop climate change, we first need to understand why it happens. So what causes climate change? One of the causes is because we burn fossil fuels. Fossil fuels are things like oil and gas or turf and coal that are made from ancient plants and animals that are buried deep into our earth. They have been made over millions of years and they're non-renewable. This means that once they are used, they can never be used again. When we burn these fuels to heat our homes or to be able to drive our cars, gases are released into the Earth's atmosphere, which is a layer of air or gas that surrounds our planet. These gases rise up and trap the sun's heat close to the Earth's surface. Think about how the glass in a greenhouse keeps the inside warm. That's why we call these gases greenhouse gases. They're making the Earth too warm. We need some of these gases to keep Earth warm enough for humans to live, but for a long time we have been releasing too many of these greenhouse gases into our atmosphere. Climate change is also made worse by cutting down forests. The trees and plants found in forests and rainforests help to absorb huge amounts of greenhouse gases from the air, which changes it to oxygen and is released back into the atmosphere for humans and other animals to breathe. The Amazon rainforest in South America is so large and efficient at doing this that it acts like our planet's air conditioner, limiting climate change and cooling us down. Sadly, many rainforests are being cut down for wood, palm oil, and to clear the way for farms, roads, oil mines and dams. Farming also causes climate change. Believe it or not, cows contribute towards climate change. Just like us, when cows eat, methane, a type of greenhouse gas, builds up in their digestive system and is released in the form of a burp. Demand for beef and dairy products like milk and butter means more cows, which means more methane is produced, and more land is cleared of trees and plants as it is needed for the cows to live on. Can you guess where most of the greenhouse gases come from in Northern Ireland? Is it transport, like vans, buses and cars? Or waste, like when the contents of our black bins are sent to a landfill dump? Or our homes, offices and factories? Maybe from farming, which produces our food and cooking oils? Or from creating energy so that we can turn on our lights and TVs? Take a guess. In Northern Ireland, farming emits the most greenhouse gases, with transport that uses petrol and diesel a close second. Did you get it right? We've learnt about how animals that live in icy areas and rainforests might be affected by climate change, but even the smallest animals and insects here in Northern Ireland can be affected by climate change. Did you know more than half of all animals in Northern Ireland are insects? Insects are particularly important as they pollinate flowers so that plants can grow. They are food for birds and small animals, and they munch through most of our waste. All living things, no matter how big or small, have an important part to play on our planet. We refer to all the animals, insects and plants that live on Earth as biodiversity. Bio means life, and diversity means a wide range of very different living beings. The effects of the Earth heating up due to climate change directly affects our biodiversity. For example, flooding and extreme heat is dangerous for wildlife and affects the ability of plants to grow. When polar ice at the North and South Pole melts, this causes sea levels to rise, which then affects all of the birds and insects who live and nest along the seashore. The good news is that we can all do our bit to slow down and prevent climate change. Here are some small changes that you can make to combat climate change. Ask your parents if you can walk or cycle to your friend's house or school instead of using the car, so that you can save on petrol or diesel, which are fossil fuels. Use public transport, like buses and trains, where a lot of people travel together instead of in separate vehicles, which is another good way to reduce greenhouse gases. Many of our buses are zero emissions, meaning they don't use fossil fuels to drive, and so they do not emit harmful gases. Switch off lights and turn off chargers and electrical items when they're not being used. This saves energy that's made by burning fossil fuels. Buy less plastic and use less plastic by bringing your own shopping bag to the shops. Plastic is made from fossil fuels. Reuse and repair what you have, rather than constantly buying more stuff. Pre-loved clothes and items are stylish and better for the planet. Eat more vegetables and less meat. Vegetables need less land, less water, and create less greenhouse gases than animals. Recycle at home and at school. Glass, cans, cardboard, whatever you can. Recycling uses less energy than creating new items. Don't throw food waste in the bin. Get creative with your leftovers or start a compost heap. If you have a garden, allow a small area to grow wild, or leave a patch of fallen leaves. Insects, birds and small animals will use this as shelter, and it will encourage wild plants to grow. Maybe you could build a bug hotel in your garden or school playground. Use your voice. Talk to your friends and family about what you're doing to protect the planet. Now you understand climate change, you have an opportunity to encourage others to take action too.